welcome to Storyboard. I'm Shibani Gharat. We are in conversation with Cheuk, Chiang, CEO, DENTSU Creative Asia Pacific. He was visiting India this week along with the entire DENTSU APAC top brass. That is how important India market is for us, he says. Since taking on his new role earlier this year, he mentions how the entire focus for the agency is on doing great work. He also shared how the agency is investing in its creative reputation and accelerating its creative footprint to become more future ready. The complete integration of DENTSU is all set to happen by the end of this month. So we will have to wait and watch how the future unfolds for this agency that has been through a lot over the past 1 year. Till then, let's hear this conversation. Cheuk, welcome to CNBC TV 18.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Cheuk, you are the newly appointed CEO of DENTSU Creative for Asia Pacific. What has been your immediate mandate since June when your appointment happened, and how much has been achieved so far?
When I got appointed the role, I sat down with Fred Levon, who's our Global Chief Creative Officer, and he said to me, we have one priority, and that priority is the work. I went on a mission. I spoke to our CCOs, I spoke to our CEOs, I spoke to many clients. And out of that, we've come up with a plan. And that plan is delivered across people, process, partnerships, and also promotion, reputation. Across all of those 4 areas, the goal amongst each of those areas is to help us deliver better work. So, for example, with people, a big part of that is, unlike any other industry, in our industry, particularly the creative industry, relies hugely on talent. So if you think about DENTSU as a whole, we have 3 particular service lines: creative, media, and CXM. CXM relies, because it's data, relies a lot on process. Media relies on process and people. Creativity relies a lot on people. So off the back of that, we've done a wholesale review of all our talent, particularly across the top 6 markets. And then we've looked at bringing in new talent that can help us ultimately get to that objective of better work. And then we've looked at process. What's clear to us is we've moved from many brands into one. So I've been working very closely with the global team. We've come out with a new creative briefing format. The exciting thing about that format, which makes it different, is rather than focusing on propositions, which most creative briefs are focusing on, we're focusing on provocations. So it's about taking insights, powerful human truths, and then articulating them in a way that's provocative. That's how we make our propositions.
Can you tell me an example on that?
Many insights that surround the Dove campaign. The category insight is, for example, sex sells. That's the beauty category, right? When it comes to the consumer, the insight that campaign plays to very well is that when it comes to beauty, women are their own worst enemies.
Correct.
So hence, that's why the Dove campaign is so powerful, because they use that insight but expressed in a very provocative manner. And then when it comes to partnerships, the focus is going to be on, in every market, setting up account plans with our clients. Now, that's not to look at commercials. That's looking at working with our clients to change the narrative. And that narrative is really around how can we help them do better, more creative work. The other partnership thing we're doing is really leveraging our partnerships with some of the big platforms like Meta, and Google, ByteDance, TikTok. So what we're doing with them is we're setting up these joint business plans. We're doing a number of things with them. We're setting up a lot of one-off initiatives, and we're partnering with them to launch a lot of the new products and tools that we've got. In fact, in India, with YouTube, we're partnering with them to do a lot of work with their new YouTube format next year, which plays to e-commerce. And then finally, on the promotional front, I think the thing that we've been is everywhere. previously, and we've got to be very focused on how we communicate. We want to be known as experts in terms of creating culture, changing society, and inventing the future.
Yeah. Also, you said the new date for this entire integration and formation of DENTSU Creative is set for November 28th. It will be formed with these sprawling set of agencies that you have, which are brands in their own individual rights. How are the cultures merging, and how are people, which are your core for DENTSU Creative, how are the people taking the whole integration?
To your question on the various cultures, the other thing we also took into consideration was how can we leverage the very best of what we've got now. In many respects, the heritage of Taproot has very much been around building brands and creating culture. If you think about brands like Isobar, they've very much been about inventing the future and leveraging technology. If you think about changing society and inventing the future, you think about brands like Web Chutney. So in many respects, what we've done is we've taken areas of strength in what we've got to then build out the blueprint for the future.
So finally, we can say that this entire exercise is over, or it's still ongoing?
Externally, a lot of people have looked from afar at what's been happening at DENTSU, particularly with a lot of the people that we've exited, and thought that there must be something going on at DENTSU that's not positive. The way we like to look at it is that we've been bold enough and brave enough to step away from legacy structures, think about how we can plan for the future, how we can structure for the future, how we can structure to be client-centric. And that's why we've done what we've done. So if you think about the proposition of DENTSU Creative, it's around what we call modern creative. So modern creative is work that creates culture, changes society, and invents the future. So what we've done is we've looked at our structure and we've embedded the ability for us to generate work that delivers against modern creativity. So as an example, one interesting thing is that when it comes to insights, particularly cultural insights, we've had teams that have sat in media departments. Interestingly enough, over the last 30 years, it's been very rare for a creative agency to have insights or data teams sitting within their business. So we've made some structural changes. We've brought cultural insight specialists in, which sit in the strategy team to help uncover these cultural insights, to help us generate work that delivers against that.
What is the difference or similarity when it comes to the India market as compared to the global markets from a creative business perspective?
It's really India's time now. We've always had a very strong heritage of great creativity here, right? But got to remember that this is the first time that India's really shone in the way that it should be in Cannes. I think that the quality of work is at the right point now. And for us, that's what's inspiring for the rest of the world. So I would say the quality of the work is much better. Every market has its time, right? New Zealand for a long while, Thailand for a while, had great work. I think now at this time, it's now India's time to shine.
And what are the things that excite you, as a leader, about the creative business in the coming days?
For me, it's really the ability for us to leverage data to then create narratives, but not in the way that we've done before. We've always had data. We've always had research. In fact, in the old days, a planner would have a pile of research reports that they would look at. The beauty of today is that we've got big data and we've got technology and machine learning to help us analyze that big data, to uncover insights, particularly cultural insights for DENTSU, to then better connect with consumers and inform our thinking. I think that's where the next wave is going to be.
And, the integration of DENTSU Creative and the formation of DENTSU Creative is going to happen towards the end of November. Cheuk, where will it stand as compared to these legacy traditional creative agencies which are really strong in the India market?
There's something that DENTSU has that is quite unique. Primarily driven by the fact that we've made more acquisitions than any other holding group in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
What it's allowed us to do is build strong capability across creative, across media, and across CXM. So when a client works with us, the solution may not just be a content or a creative solution. It could be a solution that's driven by data, or a solution that is a very strongly media-driven solution. So I'm very excited by that, because what it means is the canvas that we've got to work off is much broader than just creative.
And what will be the key focus areas for this DENTSU Creative in the next year, since it's happening a little shy from the new year?
There is a plan in place that looks at how we can drive growth, of which there are 3 horizons. The first horizon is incremental revenue growth, and that's through on-selling capabilities that help clients solve problems. And really they are within 3 areas. 1, entertainment, second area of experience, and the third is owned. The second horizon of growth is going to be new clients and new logos. So that there's a renewed focus on taking a hunter mentality rather than a farmer mentality. And then the third area is really around strategic growth, which is strategic acquisitions. We either build, borrow, or buy to build out our capabilities.
All right, Cheuk, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Namaste.
It is now time for a short break. On the other side, ahead of